Hi, welcome to Surviving Schizophrenia with Steven. My name is Steven. I hope you're having a wonderful day. There are many challenges that someone faces when they're diagnosed with schizophrenia. I've had to deal with these challenges for the last 12 years. It has not been easy. But surviving schizophrenia doesn't mean you can't live a good life. Though life may be different than I envisioned before onset, life can still be great. When I fell ill at age 12, I thought my life was over. I was depressed and barely held on to life. But over the years, as I recovered, I realized I can make something of my life. I just had to find my life's purpose. For me, that purpose was making videos about my struggle surviving schizophrenia on the internet. And once I did, I began to enjoy life again. And through that, I began to live again. Sure, it is still very difficult living with schizophrenia, but it wasn't enough to hold me back from life. And now, I am living a meaningful and fulfilling life. It is most definitely possible to live a good life, even with schizophrenia. Let's talk about the challenges of schizophrenia and the role of purpose in recovery. Some of the challenges that I face daily would be cognitive ones, where it can be hard sometimes to think properly and put words together even in my mind and say things and get my point across. That can be very difficult because everything can get mixed up in my head and doesn't come out right. Or if it does come out right, it takes me longer to get it out right because I have to form it right in my head first. There's also exhaustion and tiredness. I face that all the time. For example, I've slept into like almost noon today, and I went to bed around 10:30 at night, last night. And other issues would be social withdrawal. That is something that I have definitely faced in the last 12 years. Especially early on, right when I fell ill, I didn't want to be around people. And actually, I couldn't be around people. Being around people was way too stressful for me. And I found myself way more comfortable just being home alone with my parents, but home just like in my room, not doing anything with other people because it was too stressful for me and I felt it was too much. And then I didn't want to at a certain point anyway, which made it very hard because being social is incredibly important, right? I'm more introverted now, but now I'm starting to be more social again. And I find it's helping me a lot to be out and do things like that because that is just really positive for mental health. So what I'm talking about here are the negative symptoms of schizophrenia. The difference, I guess, would be like the positive symptoms would be like hallucinations and auditory hallucinations, that kind of thing, right? But the negative symptoms tend not to be able to be treated well with antipsychotics. Those treat the positive symptoms, really. Not so much the negative side. And the negative side is what I've dealt with the most recently for the last few years because my positive symptoms are pretty much under control. It has not been bad positive symptom-wise for a very long time. However, negative symptoms are still there, where I have the social withdrawal, where I have just lack of wanting to do things at times, or I have this incredible exhaustion and tiredness. And that makes it really hard to live a normal, relatively productive life. But I think I'm handling it pretty well and having now this purpose in life, right? My purpose here is now making videos here on the internet and trying to destigmatize and show what it's like to live with schizophrenia. Those symptoms are getting better, actually. Or I'm recovering more, I should say. I don't know if that came across right. Where I am more motivated now. Where I have more energy even when I am awake to do things. I'm more motivated for that. And I found having this pride in this amazing YouTube channel here, it's really improved all of my symptoms. And having this purpose is driving me forward, where before I was not well. I was very depressed and very anxious all the time. Where now, sure, I still have anxiety and depression, but it's nowhere near as bad as it once was, where now I'm actually happy again because I have this purpose. I have something I can do that's productive, that is good, and is keeping me busy even, and keeping me feeling better and better. And I think that's amazing because I found my purpose. And through that, now I'm living again, right? I am enjoying my life. I am happy where I haven't really been happy for 12 years, where I was just sad really for the most part. And I'm thinking about my schizophrenia now in a different light. Whereas before it was like, well, I have schizophrenia. It's horrible. There's nothing good about it, right? And now it's like, well, I have schizophrenia. It is horrible. There's not much great about that, but I'm making something out of my life nonetheless. And that's amazing. So I'm not dwelling on all the bad parts of my schizophrenia as much as I once was, where that was a constant thing for me, where I was constantly thinking about how horrible my life and my schizophrenia is and was. But now I'm focusing on how much better my life is getting with a more positive mindset. And I'm actually moving forward instead of staying stuck in the rut where I was with my schizophrenia before. Schizophrenia can often blur the lines of self-identity. I definitely felt that early on, where I felt I wasn't really myself anymore, but I kind of still was. It's very hard to explain, but I kind of lost who I was for a long time. And with the schizophrenia and my depression, my anxiety being so bad, I felt lost completely as me. I didn't feel like at all the same person I was before. As I've recovered, I've gotten my old self back more, and I've realized who I am again. And I've realized who I can be with this purpose in life. And I feel more of my old self again, while also being this new self. When now I know who I am. I have my identity. I am now me, Stephen here. This Stephen. The one that is now moving on. The one that is not... The one that is both my old self before I fell and a new, almost better self that I am now. I found that my self-identity that is right now is a combination of what I was before and what I am now, combined to make, I think, a better Stephen. And that makes me very happy. Because for a long time, right, I didn't think I would ever get better. I never thought that life would get better. But it did. And now I'm actually very happy with who I am and what I'm doing. Happier, I think, than I would have been otherwise, even before. Having a purpose can definitely lead to more social interactions as well. I've had that, even where it's just through the internet, right? With all these amazing comments I've been receiving from you, my community. Which is one of the reasons why I have recovered so much. It's been absolutely incredible. But that is social interaction that I didn't have before. Which is amazing. But even outside of like the internet, right? I met someone that has watched this channel. That was amazing. I didn't expect that to happen. Now I have a friend there. And that's incredible. That would not have happened had I not had this purpose and started doing this, right? And I expect that to just happen more and more as well in the future. And now I'm ready for that. Now I am open to being more social because I've gotten more used to it in the last 2 years. Now that I'm getting out more, it's making me want to get out more and be more social as well, which is incredible. And even just like in a small tangent kind of way, I guess, but like I'm being more open about my schizophrenia even in general, in my personal life too. For example, I just got my hair cut like yesterday, and I had never told my barber there that I had schizophrenia. But she asked like what I was doing and stuff, and so I mentioned I have this channel, I have schizophrenia, this is what I'm doing, right? I gave her my card, I have my business card, and just something as simple as that. And she was very kind about it too. But I haven't really done much of that in my personal life like that. My family knows, close friends obviously, but like not in that kind of way. But because I am now getting out there and being more social, I felt more comfortable saying that. Whereas before, I probably would never have done that because I'd worry about what she would have thought. So this is my personal story of how I found purpose in my schizophrenia and how I'm continuing on with it. And I think it's been amazing. Of course, it varies for everyone. Schizophrenia is very different for every individual person. And I recognize that I am fortunate to be in the position I am in here today. Because it's very different for everyone living with schizophrenia. Yeah. So I hope you found this interesting or insightful or helpful. And I hope to see you in the next video. And I hope you have a happy and healthy rest of your day. And I hope to see you next time.